Hello everyone. Today we're diving into an analysis of the action thriller Unleashed, a captivating film with profound themes. Spoilers ahead. The story opens with Bart, a ruthless loan shark whose collection methods are far from ordinary. He has raised a man named Danny like an animal since childhood, keeping him in a cage, feeding him like a dog, and conditioning him for absolute obedience. Danny, whose mental development remains childlike, neither knows how to speak nor behave normally. Danny constantly wears a special collar around his neck which, as long as it remains in place, keeps him docile. But the moment this collar is removed, he transforms into a formidable human weapon, eliminating anyone who threatens his master. Bart treats him with cruelty, alternating between beatings and humiliation, but Danny, knowing no other reality, interprets this abuse as forms of attention. After a day of intimidating debtors, Bart brings Danny back to their hideout. A man notices a wound on Danny's forehead and offers him a bandage, but in his innocence, Danny doesn't understand its purpose. He simply returns to his cage and trains on a punching bag. In his moments of solitude, Danny uses a first-grade book to stimulate his mind. He shows a natural curiosity for learning, eagerly absorbing new words. The next day, the intimidation routine continues. Among their targets is a wealthy businessman who is heavily in debt. This man stands out because he knows about the collar trick. To prevent Bart from activating Danny, his men immobilize him before he can remove the collar. They beat him mercilessly while Danny watches in confusion. Uncertain how to react, Danny observes the scene. Bart finally manages to remove Danny's collar, triggering his transformation. In moments, Danny neutralizes all the attackers. His exceptional fighting technique catches the attention of a man named Wyatt, an underground fight organizer, who immediately sees lucrative potential. Once the money is recovered, Bart emerges and, despite Danny saving his life, harshly reprimands him for not intervening sooner. He treats him like a worthless animal, ignoring that it's his own conditioning that shaped Danny. For their last visit of the day, they stop at an antique warehouse. To avoid a repeat of the previous incident, Bart orders Danny to stay outside while monitoring an alarm. During his wait, Danny discovers a piano in a corner of the warehouse. He remembers seeing one in his book and approaches it, fascinated. He touches a few keys when a blind pianist, Sam, enters the room to tune the instrument. Noticing Danny's interest, Sam introduces him to the notes. This encounter is destabilizing for Danny, who has never known kindness. During their interaction, Danny remains silent, but Sam doesn't seem to mind. To help him focus, Sam suggests listening to the ticking of a clock, which reminds Danny of the alarm he was supposed to monitor. Seeing that it's lit, he rushes inside and finds Bart on the ground, injured but victorious. Back at their hideout, Bart and his men rough up Danny before locking him away. It's then that Wyatt proposes a deal to Bart: have Danny fight in an upcoming underground tournament against the reigning champion. Since these fights are to the death, the earnings are substantial. Bart accepts without hesitation. The following day, Danny is led to the ring. His opponent, undefeated for 3 years, is unanimously favored by bettors. But as soon as the fight begins, Danny delivers 3 powerful blows that kill him in less than a minute. Wyatt, elated at having discovered such talent, pays Bart his share of the winnings. On the way back, Bart, in a generous mood, offers to grant Danny any wish. Danny whispers, "piano," but Bart sees no use for an instrument for a dog. Suddenly, their car is hit by a truck. The businessman they had assaulted has sent his men to eliminate Bart. They riddle the vehicle with bullets, mortally wounding the gangster. Danny, merely injured, escapes to the only place that evokes a positive feeling: the antique warehouse. There he finds Sam, who recognizes him by his footsteps. Danny collapses before he can ask for help. Upon waking, he finds himself in a comfortable bed, a completely new environment for him. Sam has taken him in and cared for him for 2 days. Disoriented by this unfamiliar kindness, Danny is nervous. The arrival of Victoria, Sam's stepdaughter, frightens him to the point that he hides under the bed. Understanding his special sensitivity, Victoria slides a keyboard under the bed, having learned of his interest in the piano. At dinner, the family patiently waits for Danny to join them. He appears, clutching his keyboard. Having never eaten in company, he devours his food like an animal. Victoria gently stops him and teaches him proper manners. Danny's singular behaviors amuse the family. Later, Sam tries to remove Danny's collar, which terrifies him. He categorically refuses to let anyone touch it, and Sam respects this boundary. The next morning, Sam and Danny accompany Victoria to her university. Before leaving, she kisses Danny on the cheek, leaving him flustered. He had read about what a kiss was in his book and experiences innocent joy at experiencing it. Sam, noticing his reaction, smiles discreetly. Aware of Danny's past traumas, Sam takes him to a grocery store to help him socialize. Danny watches in fascination as Sam interacts with the cashier. Later, he's entrusted with the mission of escorting Victoria home. Nervous, he meets her at the university, and they share an ice cream. That night, Victoria, unable to sleep, wakes Danny to teach him some piano basics. From his room, Sam hears the melody and rejoices to see Danny gradually opening up. In a short time, he becomes an essential member of their household. One day, at the grocery store, a fight breaks out among thugs. While everyone is alarmed, Danny calmly continues examining vegetables. Later, Sam questions him about this surprising calm. Danny simply replies that they weren't attacking him, so he had no reason to intervene. Intrigued, Sam inquires further about his past. He then understands how Danny's innocence was exploited to turn him into a weapon, and feels deep compassion. The following weeks are peaceful. Danny even allows Victoria to remove his collar without triggering his violence. One day, Sam invites him to assist in repairing a piano. While they work, Sam reveals that he and Victoria will return to New York after her graduation. Danny is devastated, fearing abandonment, but Sam clarifies that he will accompany them, as he is now part of their family. After work, Danny receives half the payment for his help. Enthusiastic, he goes to the store to buy gifts, but on the way back, he encounters a former employee of Bart. The man informs him that Bart survived and is actively searching for him, considering him his main source of income. Danny agrees to follow him, hoping to obtain information about his origins. In the next scene, Danny confronts Bart about his mother. Bart reveals that he found him abandoned and never bothered to find his parents. Danny is then led to another death match. Bart makes him wear the collar, then removes it, but finds that the conditioning no longer works. Faced with Danny's refusal to kill, he is pushed into the arena against a formidable opponent. He takes the blows without retaliating. To spice up the show, other fighters are introduced, but despite the violence inflicted, Danny doesn't react. Suddenly, after a man crushes his hand, something awakens in him. He momentarily becomes the killing machine of old, eliminating all his opponents. At the end of the day, beaten and bruised, he is thrown back into his cage. Meanwhile, Victoria and Sam worry, not knowing where to look. Taking advantage of a moment of inattention, Danny escapes and discovers photos at Bart's desk. He recognizes himself in one of them, sitting with his mother in front of a piano. He confronts Bart one last time about his mother. The man reveals she was a sex worker who regularly accompanied him. She even brought little Danny to her professional appointments, unconcerned with propriety. But Bart fell in love with her, and when she died from an illness, he took Danny in as his family. The following day, during a car ride, Danny hears the word family, which reminds him of Sam and Victoria. He causes an accident to escape. He returns to his true family, who welcome him with joy. Learning about his mother's story, they are devastated. Victoria identifies the background in the photo, and Sam recognizes an auditorium he has visited. To learn more about Danny's mother, they go to this auditorium. The staff remembers her but reports that she disappeared with her son without explanation. Victoria notices sheet music in the photo and plays the melody. It's the tune Danny's mother played when he was little, triggering the return of his repressed memories. A flashback reveals that his mother was a musician without resources who had borrowed from Bart, offering herself in exchange. She kept Danny away from these arrangements until the day Bart discovered his existence. When she refused to let him see the child, she was killed and Danny kidnapped. These restored memories make Danny realize how dangerous Bart is. He tries to convince Sam and Victoria to leave the city immediately. Before their departure, Bart and a squad of his men enter the building. Danny hides Sam and Victoria in a closet before going out to divert the thugs' attention. He confronts the stranger, a fighter hired by Bart with skills comparable to his own. Their confrontation ends when the stranger falls out the window, despite Danny's efforts to save him. Finally, Bart pursues Danny and discovers his apartment. He threatens to kill Sam and Victoria if Danny doesn't surrender. Danny submits to protect his loved ones, but as soon as he approaches Bart, he attacks him fiercely. Sam and Victoria emerge from their hiding place to prevent him from killing Bart. The confrontation between Danny and Bart becomes a pivotal moment in his journey of self-discovery. As Danny's hands tighten around Bart's throat, flashes of his past life surge through his mind. The cage, the collar, the countless fights, all contrasted with the warmth of Sam and Victoria's home. For the first time, Danny consciously chooses who he wants to be rather than reacting as he was programmed. This internal struggle is visible on his face as he grapples with years of conditioning and newfound humanity. Bart, sensing his hesitation, continues to taunt him, reminding Danny that he'll never be more than a trained animal. These words, once devastating to Danny, now ring hollow against the backdrop of genuine love he has experienced. The real victory isn't physical but psychological as Danny releases Bart, not out of weakness but from strength, the strength to break free from his violent past and embrace his humanity. When the situation calms down, the three embrace. At that moment, the police arrive and arrest Bart for his numerous crimes. In the final scene, Danny and Sam attend a piano recital where Victoria performs. She dedicates her piece to a special person and plays the melody that Danny's mother used to play years ago. Danny watches her in wonder, shedding a tear of happiness. Don't forget to subscribe for more content.